talk about buprenorphine. Okay, so what is it? Buprenorphine is a partial opiate blocker. So the molecule itself sits in the opiate receptors and it releases neurotransmitters in a way that acts similar to opiates. So you get some pain relief, you get a little bit of euphoria, you get a little bit of either the energy or the relaxation that you get from other opiates, but it's like a diet opiate. The other thing it is, though, is it an opiate blocker. So the buprenorphine itself sits in an opiate receptor and it binds so tightly that it prevents any other opiates from being able to get in there. So just the molecule of buprenorphine itself is a blocker, and it is the active molecule in Suboxone or Zubsol or Bunavail or whatever oral medication you're using. The pros of it, right, it's the gold standard. It is evidence-based medicine.
Did you know that if you enter your name and a few small details into this website, it brings up all your previous car finance agreements on screen and lets you know which one you could be owed a refund on?
Then we use it for opioid use disorder. And the benefits are that it saves people's lives. And when it came out, the only other alternative really was methadone. And methadone is so federally and state regulated that it was hard to live a normal life on methadone. You have to go dose daily. There's very strict rules and regulations. So buprenorphine came out and it was kind of like this, oh wow, we're starting to treat people with addiction a little bit more like normal people with chronic diseases. So you can get a prescription, you could fill it, but there were still a lot of regulations around. But basically, it prevented people from overdosing. It stopped them from using opiates, and so it was saving lives. It's a life-saving medication. The downsides to it were that you still have to take something every day, right? Which is kind of like a reminder. There is low-level panic that occurs if you run out, or the pharmacy doesn't have it in stock, or you miss your appointment with the doctor and the doctor's not in the office and there's nobody to call it in for you, or you want to go on vacation but you can't because the insurance won't fill it a week early, and so you either have to pay for it out of pocket or you go on vacation without meds, or you resort to old behaviors, which is problematic, to get it somewhere else. There is also this subconscious fear all the time that you're going into withdrawal. So even when you wind up getting like the flu or something, there's this thought like, oh, my dose isn't working anymore. Like the first thought is I need another med to fix this. But the pros of life-saving, no withdrawal always outweighed the cons, which is why those of us that practice in the field of addiction medicine have always been proponents of using this medication, because not letting people die is a priority. But now, with the advent of the long-acting injectable buprenorphine, it's been kind of a game changer. Because the long-acting buprenorphine is an injection, and there are two brands, Brixadi and Sublocade. Now, Sublocade leaves a lump, it burns, but it has a very, very long half-life, 3 months, which means at 3 months after your one injection, you're still only at half the dose that you originally got. And if you're getting it monthly, that builds, which means the levels of buprenorphine in your brain from Sublocade are oftentimes 5 to 10 times higher than what you were getting with your oral, even if you were taking up to 4 oral strips a day. Now with Brixadi, you get similar levels, but the half-life is shorter. It's only about a month to 40 days half-life. So you do have to consistently get it monthly. With the Sublocade, if you want to go on vacation, you miss your appointment, you're a few weeks off, or you decide you want to stretch it out, you totally can do that. So you eliminate all those behaviors. There's no fear of withdrawal because you never go in withdrawal. It gives you a steady state of medicine all the time. There's no ups and downs. It gives you the same blockade as the oral buprenorphine, so if you use other opiates on top of it, you won't be able to get high. It's a constant pain relieving, right? So when you take oral buprenorphine, you only get about 4 hours of pain relief. But when you have a steady state of buprenorphine kind of releasing over and over in your mind or in your brain, you get constant pain relief. So it's better for chronic pain. You, again, don't have to worry about not having it or running out of it or whatever. So your life becomes your life. You're free. And if you ever decide you want to stop it, you literally can just stop it. because the half-lives are so long, they taper out so slowly over time that there's no withdrawal. I have patients who their last injection was December of 22 and they're still testing positive for very, very low levels of buprenorphine, and the level drops by like 2 nanograms every month. So she's not faking it. She's taking something that's legitimately taken for 3.5 years to come out of her system. No withdrawal. The downside, or the thing I run into the most as an obstacle, would be that insurance, obviously. In Ohio, Medicaid covers it completely, no problem. Some commercial insurances will cover it as well. A lot of places that are nonprofit can use a repository or are able to get funding from their local boards to at least do 3 doses. You need at least 3 doses to kind of taper off, to not have withdrawal. 6 would be ideal, but I can do 3 sometimes. And the worst side effect, or the worst thing that I think a lot of doctors don't tell patients to expect, is around 60 and 90 days, you have something that kind of looks a little bit like post-acute withdrawal, where you start to have some emotion dysregulation, which is almost identical to the same emotion dysregulation people have in detox. So if you never went through detox and you never had like the ups and downs of your emotions, the first 2 weeks of recovery, where like you're crying one minute and angry the next minute because all the feelings you should have felt for the past 20 years you fucking stuffed down with drugs and now they're all coming out. Well, that same process happens around 30 to 60 days down the road with the Sublocade for a lot of people. So as long as you're prepared for it, you can usually get through it just fine. It's just kind of this weird, like, what's wrong? Am I crazy now? Like, what is happening? Like, no, you're good. Those are just old emotions coming out, and that's normal. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of the long-acting injectables. I think it just gives people so much freedom and gives them their lives back without taking away the life-saving benefits.